Morning. You can probably tell a little frustrated, a little testy lately. I don't know why I turned on the camera. I already made a video, but I didn't post it when I walked for a pack of cigarettes. I know. Thinking about shortly cleaning up my space. I'd like to rearrange my tarot table. I have a different setup and everything, but for the channel I was supposed to make, I came up with the idea about 3 years ago. And yeah, it adds up to 313. How ironic is that, huh? Take a shower, make the first video for it. But I don't have a plan. And it seems like the best plans won't go anywhere. So I might as well just fucking roll with the punches, right? You can't imagine. I mean, you might be able to imagine, but what it's like being me at the same time is, I doubt it. Feeling like kind of like, how much is that doggy in the window kind of thing your whole life? But it really coming to a head over the last 6 months to a year, where exactly whatever's going on here relates to exactly what's going on inside the screen. Unable to tell who's my friends, who's my enemies, and how whatever, I'm being portrayed, while seemingly I'm at the place that nobody can reach, but everyone has access to. It's very frustrating. So I've already kind of gotten used to that concept of being famous, but shit, nobody wanted to be famous like this. At the same time, is it's such a blessing, right? I mean, in some ways, I'm apparently protected. Otherwise, I would have been killed a long time ago, probably at birth and about every day afterwards. So, hooray for that. Blessed, grateful, yeah. I know I'm supposed to focus on my health, and I packed cigarettes for today, but it's 12:12. Hey, it's 3:11. And two on top is 3:13. Let's see where, if there's a planet in the entrance 51 right now. Nope, not right now, but I wasn't making a playlist. Hey, but there's a couple other things about ready to line up. Mercury's at 110 in Sagittarius, so in another minute or so it'll be at 111. And the moon's at 236 in Libra. That's two less than the 238. Those three numbers, those four numbers, 51 and 238 and 313 and 212 is one of them. And 131 is one also. But the 131st day of the year is tied to a lot of singers because it coincides. What is that? The 131st. Wait, is it the 151st day of the year? Something like that. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna look it up. Who cares, right? Planets are lined up kind of interesting right now. I'll give you a little peek. I see that there's like this diamond going on. The moon is the one that's splitting the die, I guess. Really colorful today. Oh, and the X in the middle, the double X. That's pretty cool. It's 411 in New York City. But hey, that's the weird thing about it. Let's just sit here and chat for a minute. I guess nothing else to do. Well, we hang out about nothing, right? So then I go over to Astro Theme, and hey, the moon is 238 in Libra, but Mercury's still 110. So how did the moon move 2 minutes ahead, but Mercury, which is way fast, compared to the moon, not move an inch? Pluto's at 211 Aquarius, so it'll be 212 today or tomorrow. We got Jupiter, Uranus, Chiron, and the true north node all in retrograde. Most of the signs are in Sagittarius, at least 4 of them. We got the Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. And let's see, the second most common is Pisces. We got Saturn in Pisces, Neptune, and the north node, the true north. I don't know exactly what the difference between true north and the north node is. All this, see, that's what's weird about this stuff, right? It's about perspective. But everyone's got a different perspective. And everyone's at a different spot on the earth. And so, but at the same time, it doesn't line up. Because on Astro Theme, it has it as Friday, December 12th. And it's 9:14 p.m. Universal Time, meaning in England. But all the signs are almost exactly the same as New York City, as if, what the fuck, right? Then there's another one here. Let's go to it. Astro Dienst. I don't know how to pronounce that. Astro Dienst. In this one, it has it related entirely different. It looks like this, where it has the house first. So, well, no, not the house, because the sun couldn't be in the 21st house. So it must be 21 degrees, right? 21 degrees in Sagittarius, 6 minutes, but this is the only one that shows how many seconds. And then it even shows the nanos. Then it has another number, 23 seconds SO8. But here, let's see. Oh yeah, so here the moon is at 238 and 52 seconds. But then the next number is at 2S36, which that's weird because that lines up with the first website. And Mercury's at 110, so that agrees. But how's the moon 2 minutes ahead on these two websites? But then on astrology.com, oh, now it's only been, let's see, 6 minutes. And now coming back to it, the moon has moved forward 3 seconds. And now it's a 239 Libra. So it is what it is, right? I guess that whatever this perspective meant to be shown in that is what you need to know. But it's complicated if like you take it too seriously. But the weird thing is, like on Astro Theme, which I have a huge file of all kinds of stars during my journey. I mean, famous people, their birth charts and mine and my grandmother's, my stepdad, my mom, my brother, my grandparents' birth and death day approximate, because I don't know exact times and stuff. Have all the stuff saved in there, which obviously, shit, all the stuff gets hacked anyway. And if it's not hacked, well, it's just spread around. So it's not like anything I do is a fucking secret. But on my chart, so what kind of started this astrological chart thing for me, I guess this is where the conversation wants to go. Let me turn this here. Was on January 19th, 2019, I had a dream, and who knows how much of my dreams and visions are my own, or how much have been transmitted to me, and by what source, right? So that's pretty scary, being in charge, but what the fuck is anyone in charge of? But then anyone can bend and manipulate it off of me as a lens. I guess it lasts a long time if I have to relight them 5 times, huh? So I had this dream. I probably told it before, where I was a time traveler, is what it felt like. I traveled back in time, and I met in a place that was perfectly dark. That's ironic to the image of heaven, right? And I met up with my partner, the love of my life, who I'm looking for, apparently, presumably. But it's completely black. And you know how dreams are, like there's certain things that you know but you can't see, but you know, like for instance, you might walk through a room and you can tell you're talking to somebody but you don't see him in the room, but you just know it's your dad or something, you know, that kind of thing. Also, then I exchanged a symbol with her, a secret symbol, because I would have to come back and visit her later, and I wanted her to have it so that she could reveal it. And also I would know if it had, like AI, how AI has glitches, I guess. And I would know if that was the symbol when I come back to her, if time had been altered or something like that. And then I swear there was 3 times, a second one. But anyway, so then I remember coming back, walking into a front door house, and her name was Lauren. Somehow I know that. I don't know why. And as I'm walking down the hallway, it's like a straight shot long hallway, and there's rooms off to the side, like a kitchen was the first one off to the left here. But then there's a bedroom door, and it's just like cracked. And I hear some noises from the room, and I start walking forward, and I see a guy's shoulder. Like the bed is right next to the doorway. I see a guy's shoulder, and there's a good chance I'm going to shave my beard off today. I don't know why. That just came out. But, and then then I get a little bit closer, and I hear it's like muffled sounds of 2 people making love. And then in a moment, somehow I don't know how, I have this realization that it was me on top of her that got there before I could get there, which that's pretty fucked up. And then as soon as like I step forward, like to go toward the room, then boom, then I was, then they orgasmed, and I was the sperm traveling in to fertilize the egg to be reborn, let's say. And then I woke up, And at that moment, it told me to go look at my zodiac sign. And the moment I looked at the zodiac sign, I didn't know anything about the astrology, really, at all. Nothing. The moment I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, it's me. I knew who I was beyond, but this story is pretty weird because past, present, and future are all folding everywhere at once, it seems. And the interesting thing about my zodiac, well, and the day that I awoke and the time that I awoke really coincide. So there's my divine masculine and my divine feminine halves. In my chart, all of the outer planets are in retrograde. And when I awoke, and I don't know which way is which. Like, if my divine feminine half would be the one I was born with, and then when I awoke, that would be my masculine half. But let me just pull it up here and discuss it for a moment, for what it's worth. Let's see, my account, my birth profiles. Oh, good, it's already locked in. So I've been chasing my own ass the entire freaking way without knowing where to go. Oh yeah. So I called her Vespertine Lauren since my name that I was given when I was a teenager for my email account this account's on is Dark Vesper. Like the opposite of the morning star, right? Because the Vesper is a star. So they're like, oh, the black light. And the weird thing is Dark Vesper adds up to 119. How weird is that? So, let's see. That's not right. Let's see. So the moment I woke, the chart looks like this. 3:13 on March 13. Everything is pinned down on the sun in a double triangle with this X and another X. And Jupiter's in retrograde. Uranus is in retrograde. Oh wait, that's right now. Let's see here. There's only on hers, on my other one, let's see, on my awakening day, Pallas, which is an asteroid or such, is in retrograde. And its symbol is an upside down cross with a diamond above it. The true north node is retrograde at 2450, just one short of 2451, with XII, which is 12, or stoning Gemini. Mars is in house X. Taurus is in house X. Uranus is in Mars. Chiron is at 119 Aries in the ninth house. So there's that 119 again. And some other significant numbers here. And what's it all mean? I don't know. I'm just sharing the rows of whatever comes up, right? Right now, as this very moment, Mercury's at 111 in Sagittarius. All right. But on my personal, when I was born, on May 1st, 1982, hey, Venus right now is at 1510. Sagittarius, there's that 151. I put it at 3:13 p.m., but I was born at 3 p.m. somewhere in there. I just made it the same for whatever reason. The sun is at 11:10, not 11:11. It's one short, but it is at 111 in Taurus in the ninth house. Another significant numbers would be my fortune. It's Capricorn in the fourth house at 5:11. 5 degrees 11 minutes. Capricorn, my house of fortune. Of course, I encourage anyone else to look into this stuff for themselves. And what it means is what it means. I mean, and when I was born, Pallas, that same one, is retrograde, but is in Libra at 4:04 in the first house. Which that's weird because 4:04 we think of file not found, right? But that was a significant one on the other chart. So that's weird. File not found. Oh, there he is. And Mars at 101, retrograde in Libra. East Point at 1238. There's that 238 again in Virgo, 11th house. My midheaven is 1515 Gemini. Would be the letters O and O. Some significant features about my chart is how in Libra, which is the scales, right, is the balance of justice. There's 3 planets in it, along with Pallas. I just realized. But I have Saturn in the center of it. That's interesting because Saturn carries the scales. And then on one end, I have Mars, which you'd think of blood and fire, is red. And Pluto on the other end, balancing ice and cold and white or flesh against blood and war, with Saturn in the center carrying the scales, on the scales, balancing the scales. Another significant feature I found on my chart, which looks like this, is how every planet is balanced against its opposite. So exactly opposite from Mars is Venus. Opposite of the Sun, Jupiter. Opposite of Mercury, Uranus. Opposite of the midheaven, Neptune, the underworld. Opposite of the moon ends up being the crosshair, which is the vertex. Eagle on the moon shit. I don't know. And so forth. So I'm stuck at the balance of balancing all balances without knowing how to balance what is already in play and what was created before I was born, and having to walk this out while I'm alive, while unable to control my fate, at the same time as somehow it's like it's already written. But if it's already written, then that begs the question of, does anyone have any choice? Or am I the only one that doesn't have any choice? Then how could anyone help it and fix me to have a better life than to be the concept of Jesus tied to the cross, and that there was nothing anyone could do about anyone's fate? They were all doomed from the day we're born, that whatever this shit says, then that's where you're at. And anyone that knows about that stuff could divert your fate or derail it if it's going to be positive, or turn it around for you. But then who's really in control? Especially if I'm the all and none, but everyone else has choice. Or if I'm the only one that is the free place side spot, and everyone else is strapped to a constellation that's spinning and tied to each other, then what am I doing here? What's my purpose? And these are things that have greatly troubled me and inspired me the entire time, while ultimately it's terrifying. So wonderful and so disappointing. Like how, I don't know if it's still up, but how my step-grandfather, my stepdad's dad, Pee Wee, Kerwin Felix Dothett, died exactly 1 year after I awoke on 2020 on 3/13. But he was the first one that, as I was working on figuring all this stuff out after my awakening, that suddenly he started speaking to me in spirit, where the things that he said to me or whatever hit the hardest with nothing. And he was the first person I wanted to go find and visit before he passed away, and I couldn't get there. And then to find out only a month or two ago, nobody told me. I didn't know he fucking died on March 13th. That's fucking weird. And how everything's connected. But if it's all connected, how? Especially if it's all connected to one image cut into heaven, and all that could be placed onto one person, or one person out of everyone would be the one that got left out as the son of none. But everyone else is strapped to the image of Christ. So then, oh, we gotta stick all that shit on that motherfucker. Because, I don't know. Well, I have every day just to sit and contemplate it, but I don't know where to go. I don't know what to be. Anything I tried to be was always taken from me. And I'm a fighter. I don't know about sob stories and shit like that. But then all this stuff is added up so hard that it seems like somebody would have to fucking lift me out. But then it double ties this. Oh, well, will that destabilize the entire universe? Well, obviously, looking at the way shit's been going since this election, it couldn't hardly get any worse, right? Yeah, all space and time has been tied to this one thing, but that, if anything, that's how this concept, whatever I represent, but only can represent it using all the information and data that I could come across along the way, builds up in all my own memories to be able to hold it, to look like the cross at it. but as Adam at the beginning of creation. But here we are, humankind's been going on for 10,000 years or whatever. Then if everybody's been praying this one guy, and then the one guy shows up, but they made sure to have all these books and everything and all this stuff talking about that one guy. But did I come before or did I not? Or was that just everyone's vision of the universal one that never could come, that they were able to place as the ego, but then by trapping that concept, then he shows up innocent and fucking confused about why the fuck everything is inside out, and to lead to any of these moments that have happened in the last 10 years or so. When I'd love to be able to know how to be in charge, but in charge of what? Exactly how? I'm not one to boss people around or really even to judge people, even though this shit just pisses me off to no end. 31. At the same time fuck, there's so much money out there and been made off me and my journey and this and that. Anybody could just show up and be like, all right, I don't know, start over. Here's the money. Just forget about all this for now. Here, throw all your shit, your computer, your phone, all this stuff, and in a locker, and go buy a brand new phone, buy a brand new laptop, order the vehicle you want with a camper or whatever, show up at the end of the month, and just fucking go. Just disappear. Just start all over for a while. Brand new. Because it's not like, well, the past is going to go away, but I already have it. There's no reason to get rid of it or destroy it, and it's already been taken and been granted. And find a new way to begin. Or who could be the one that would have the right to just show up at my doorstep? And how can we move forward with all this baggage? But it's not baggage. It's not extra. It's not excess. And where could my future go forward? Having to represent all of this without able to represent any of it, really. I'm just a regular guy. Should be stuck with the stuff with Jesus and stuff with fucking Hitler and having to do with fucking eagle on the moon and just all this shit. The Aztecs and the fucking everything. It's too much. But how can there's so much information I've had to take in. I don't even know where I could fucking begin to tell a new story or to begin all over. At the same time as I met so many amazing people and haven't been able to reach out and meet with any of them. So how can I just get there and hang out and it not be all too weird or about something beyond absolute respect between each other, as however you want to put it, just to make it extreme, as two divine beings, when at the same time it all comes down to we're human, and you not having to feel like, oh, I need to keep them entertained or be all weird about that, and me not, because I'm not gonna be like, oh, you need to respect me because I'm God, And where's that balance? Because the weird thing about stars is that weird thing that's exactly what I'm talking about as the problem. You see him walk down the street, and everybody mobs whoever. I don't even want to use the name. Mobs him. Oh, I gotta get your picture and your signature, and that's great and everything. But at the same time, everyone that runs up, they're the ones that gave that person the power. And so it is an imbalance. And when the star ends up being like, I'm just regular, like, thanks. But you're awesome because obviously your energy and you liking me or whatever has helped make me who I am. And so then I'd almost rather have your autograph. Like, who are you? Like, what are your kids' names? I'm not gonna put them on this. I want to put it in my Rolodex, and I want to like do something for you, for all you've given to me, even if it's just listening to my thing, or reading my book or whatever. And how can we balance that out? When I don't know how to stay or leave, can't come or go, I don't know where to start, how to finish, because it's all too much. So I think, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna clean up my space right now. I'm gonna get another cup of coffee. Normally I wake up 6 in the morning, but lately I can't hardly get out of bed until afternoon. I'm so burnt out, and nothing seems to take me anywhere. I'm either really excited for no reason, but that's a good reason, right? I'm really frustrated, and I feel like the whole world is a weight on my shoulders. There ain't nothing I can do about it. I don't know how to create, to like manifest, like I want this person. So I'm gonna make all this stuff and try to draw them to me. I don't know how to do that, and I don't want to try to control someone like that. It doesn't seem right. I don't want to push off something and try to run away. All I can know how to be is me. Maybe barely, but that's all I know. That's a lot for anyone to take. And when most people have a hard time, and it's too easy for them to be themselves and not to even be able to see themselves. And I have to see everyone's self apart from myself and see this reflection and not know and just be frozen and cut by my own light because of whatever magic is and how I could even exist. But it must have been meant to be. We must have meant to have this conversation. Otherwise, why would we be having it? Yeah, I don't think I'm fucking that was super amazing, like, some superstar or nothing. At the same time as I've never, before I woke, I never thought of myself as less or greater than anyone else. But it seemed like everyone around me as though was between one and the other, or at least the way they looked at me. And then since being stuck in that bus, now I'm always stuck between feeling powerful for no reason or feeling pathetic. and useless to do anything about it. And then anything I do, well, it doesn't really matter. Or it matters just every little, oh, like I wrote a text. Okay, well now we're gonna reroute the entire collective based upon our code system and whatever, and that's gonna change everything. And so maybe you should delete that. Oh, maybe you should leave it up. Oh, maybe what does it mean? What are they doing about it? It's miserable. It's all too much. So like I said, I think I'm gonna go get some coffee and finish this glass of water and clean my space. And then without knowing how I'm going to start the channel, for whatever reason I'm guided to, most people come in with a game plan. That's not supposed to be my style, right? I guess. If there's intent behind it, well then that can be manipulated and bent. And it's better to be innocent and not know. And so whatever comes up between now and then. Oh, Snowflake's trying to kick in the door. I guess I'll make my first video because it comes down to I need a routine, for better or worse, whatever it is. I mean, I'm in good shape, more or less, physically, but obviously I need to quit smoking. As if, at the same time, well, everybody needs to quit doing something. And smoking could be equivalent to driving your car. Look how much money that costs you every day, and how much time sitting on your ass and get fat, and when you could have walked, or, So if we enjoy doing something, the enjoyment's worth it. Everything fills a place somehow, but driving a vehicle could be 10 times worse and an equivalent to smoking every day. Plus, you're polluting the environment way more than a fucking cigarette is, and it's probably worse for your health. Wow, look at how much you have to pay for insurance and how much that thing costs, and then just to be able to lug things from here to there. When most of the time, if you didn't have a car, you wouldn't go. And so maybe you'd make a better use of your life, but being able to just go and get it and come back, it's easy to have nothing and think you got it all. As a mirror of my situation. But during COVID, I'd have to walk 2 miles into town and walk back out with whatever I could fit in my backpack each day. When I did have money. And then I was grateful just to be able to microwave some noodles, especially if I could put some sauce on it. And in a way, that's true appreciation. More so than be able to be like, we got paid. Hey, now I'm going to take the whole family out. We're going to spend $80, so we can eat at the restaurant. Fuck, $80. I eat on that shit for a month. If I really want to, I can make that shit stretch for 2 months. And so appreciation and the value of things really kind of depends on perspective. And the value of, $80 for that meal, shit. I could smoke for almost 6 months cigarettes if I roll myself on that. And those are spent in one day for food that doesn't cost that much. And then it seems like, so we just make money just so we can throw it away. We just burn it. But then why has everybody got debt if they got jobs? There's a question for you. Why do you have debt if you've had a job You're so proud to go to work every day, but you owe anybody money at all? That's a big question. Everyone has to ask themselves, oh, but I got all the credit card stuff. Ah, so you can't control yourself like a drug addict. Well, you think it's okay because, oh, well, that's not illegal or whatever. Or, oh, I mean, stress is the worst thing for your health. And I'd rather be strung out for 3 days and a fucking, worry about the bills. Well, at the same time, that's all about feeling, experiencing, and being separate from everyone while being connected to everyone and going to war at the same time as being able to be at peace. It's like the place of no place, of all places, kind of like a metaphor of what I've explained about the zodiac, about what I've found my place in the universe has to do with, which is really undefinable, but I've tried to do the best I can. So without further ado, I think I'm going to do what I said, and then just make it my first video for whatever comes out, you know. Naturally, I'm a creative person, but the process, as I look at 4646, has made it so I'm supposed to be simple, because if everything could be taken so complex or whatever, then what's all the extra flowery stuff for and this and that? I mean, it's great and stuff, but at the same time, they made it so, oh, well, I'm just typing into Gemini or whatever, and poof, look, I could have spent 2 weeks trying to create a graphic, not that good. That's a lot of wasted time. And so, like, the idea of, like, value, and if it's just about us connecting as human beings, then it's best not to go overboard, for it to be simple. And so today, hopefully, I'd like to make my first video for the channel. Ugly Duckling Tarot with Ro. Aside me, right? Because me has to do with the ego. But that's Christ's name. That's the self's holding place. Tied to May the 1st. So let's just go Ro, huh? Keep it simple. And the ugly duckling turns into a swan, so he's never understood by the ones around him. Only to find out he's a totally different creature. But what does that matter, right? When you look into nature and you can find that dogs raised together are a dog and a cat. Well, like sometimes the dog will act like the cat because it'll look up to the cat and think that that's its mom or what it's like. Or a duck and a cat, or a chicken and a salamander, I don't know. So that's what's weird about the whole ugly duckling story, especially when they're both birds. Then how are they wired so differently, only to turn out differently when it comes to being human, it really has a lot to do with what we think and what we decide, I suppose, is the moral of that. If I can start a routine today, of making a video every day, not knowing where it leads, not knowing what we're doing, having a side of my channel here, which is a shitstorm and a fucking armory. It's a a fucking sledge pool. It's a treasury. It's like the Louvre, but like an alien base tied to. It's just everything in one. It's a lot, but it's convenient in one way. For some, I should have something on the side. I'm gonna do that every day for you and I, and for what it's worth, and go from there. So I'll see you later. Have a good afternoon or evening. It's almost 4 o'clock now, and maybe by the end of the day, I'll have the first video over there, and see where that goes.